Hi everybody, this is Julie Bean with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make a little mini gem duo star cluster, and I'm going to turn it into an earring so you can see one example of use for it. But I think you could also very easily make clusters of these. You can link them together as a bracelet if you've made a bunch of them, just connect them with the jump rings. So a lot of different things you can do with this little design. So this is a little beaded design element. I'm going to teach you how to make it, and then we'll turn it into an earring really quickly. So what you're going to need are you're going to need these little mini gem duos. Now each little cluster needs 6 of them. So just keep that in mind if you're doing the math and you want to make a bracelet or something. For the accent surround beads, we're going to use some 11O Mayuki Delicas. I'm using white, and some 8O Tohos, and these are rounds, and I'm just using gold. Again, pick your favorite colors. There's a bunch to choose from over at Beadaholique, so definitely you can customize this to your liking. If you do want to make it into an earring, you're going to be using a 5mm jump ring. Now the 5mm is important because I was not able to get a 4mm through that 8O bead very easily, so I like the 5mm, and then an earring hook. You're also going to be needing a thread. I am using Wildfire, and I'm using 0.006 to give it a little bit more body, a little bit more weight, and I'm using a size 10 beading needle. My other tools is a pair of scissors and 2 pairs of chain nose pliers to open and close that jump ring when it comes time. All right, let's go ahead and make this. So I'm going to take these other little elements away. I've already pre-strung my needle, and I'm using 24 inches of thread. We're not going to be using a stopper bead, but what we need to do first is line up our gem duos. So these are 2 hole beads. So if you look on the side there, you can see that there's 2 holes. And so what we need to do is make sure that we're going through the correct hole, because let me pull one of these guys up for you. All right, so you can see there's 2 holes on the side. There's a flat back side, and there's a more rounded front side. And that's why it gets to be important that we watch our orientation. So for this particular project, I like to line these up on my beading mat so that I know that they are all facing upright and that I end up going through the correct hole when I string these. I have done this many times where I have not gone through it correctly, and I've had to take out my beadwork. Okay, so now we've got them all lined up in a row. So I'm just going to, at this point, take my needle and go right through the top hole on all of them. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now they're all on my needle, like so. They're all lined up and they're all facing forward. Now I'm going to pull them down, and I don't have a stopper bead. So I'm going to pull them down until they're about 6 or 7 inches from my tail. And now I'm going to knot them. So I'm just going to take my thread, crisscross, make sure I have enough. Whoops, let me get a little bit more tail before I do this. Okay, crisscross and go through. So I just made a really simple little knot like so, and pull, and it becomes a star. So that's really cool. It pulls them all together. Now I'm going to tie another knot. I just want to make sure it sits in the right spot. There we go. And pull. Okay, and you know what? That feels really good. You don't want to pull too tight, because if you pull too tight, your star is going to kind of come together like this. It's going to overlap, but that feels really nice. So I've got my tail here. I'm not going to do anything with it right now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take my beading thread, you see where it is right now, and I am going to go through one of the bottom holes, so it's on the inside. Okay, and I'm going to do this just to pull that knot a little bit into the hole. So I'm still on the inner circle ring. So here's where all those holes are. They're on that inside, and then you got holes on the outside. So I'm still on the inside, but now I need to get to the outside. So to do that, I'm going to jump up. So I'm just going to have my thread exiting one of those inside holes, and I'm just going to go up through one of the outer ones. and it's going to create this little thread bridge on the edge. Now you can see that thread bridge on this particular color pattern. So let me show you the example piece so you can see it. Where is it? There you go, you see it right there. Now, if I was doing some dark outer beads, I would have chosen a black thread or a smoke gray thread, and it probably would have blended it a little bit better on those nice kind of orangey, coppery bronze beads of the mini gem duos. But I wanted to go white because of the outer beads. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your supplies. I don't think the thread bridge is that noticeable to be that much of a deterrent, but that is up to you. So you do see that little thread bridge. And now we're going to add our outer beads. So we're going to pick up one of the delicas, one of the tohos, and one of the delicas. And you see we got those 3 on our needle. And now we're just going to go over to the next hole and go through it. And it creates a nice little arc. We're going to do that all the way around. So 11-0, 8-0, 11-0. And then just go over to the next hole. This is really a very easy element to make, and that's why I think you could easily make this into a bracelet or a necklace, because it doesn't take that long to do. And because you can thread a jump ring through one of the outer beads, it's really easy to connect these together. Okay. So we're just working our way around. And we're almost back to where we started. So one more. Okay, and that will complete our element. And now what we need to do is we need to tie it off so that it stays together nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and retrace my steps a little. I'm going to go back through the outside here. And this only helps it become a little bit more structurally sound and a little bit more secure when you retrace your thread path like this. Okay, so here I am. And what I'm going to do is between this gold bead and this white bead, I'm just going to go under, create a little loop, and put my needle through the loop, and tie a little knot. I'm going to do that again at the same spot. Go through the little loop and pull. And now I'm going to go through that white bead and through my little mini gem duo. Pull my other tail out of the way. And for good measure, I might just want to tie one more little knot. Okay, and go through another bead. This is a really great element for someone who's maybe just new to bead weaving, because you get a really interesting shape and it looks complicated, but it's really not. Okay, so we did that. We tied a couple knots, we wove in our thread a little bit. Now I'm going to snip this right here. So right where it exits that bead, I'm just going to snip it with my scissors. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my tail. So I'm going to rethread my needle onto my tail. And this is why you wanted to leave at least 6 inches. Okay, so that is now rethreaded. And remember, this isn't the beginning. This is down at the bottom here. And so we're going to pass through. Now we already started with a knot, which is really nice. There we go. So we just pass through a bead. I'm going to pull it. Okay, and now I'm just going to go under this little thread bridge. There's a little thread bridge right there, if you can see it. And I'm going to pass through it. Make a little loop. Go through it, tie a little knot. Okay, go ahead, weave in our thread a little bit more. And it's nice because this actually started with a knot. This didn't start with a stopper bead, it started with a knot. Okay, and if you want, you can do another little knot. We've done a lot of knots in this project. If it's totally up to you if you want to go ahead and do an extra one here. I feel like it's already pretty secure, but there we go. And I'm just going to go through the bead one more time. And we're on the back side now. You see the flat side of those mini gem duos, and that is definitely enough. So let's trim it and look at the front. Yay, we finished our little cluster. Now, like I said, I think you could do a lot of different things with this. You can do a bracelet, you can do a necklace, all sorts of things. I wanted to be able to show you quickly in a video here what one finished project would look like, so we're going to make it into a pair of earrings. So let's go ahead and just add our jump ring and our earring hook. Now, it'd also be really pretty, I think, if you clustered these. If you did maybe a dangle of 2 or 3 of them together, that could be a really pretty earring as well. Okay, so you've got your jump ring. You see you've got that little slit right there. If you're not familiar with how to open a jump ring, you have 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. You grab it on either side of the opening, and then you twist, and it opens it up. In this case, we're going to look at one of these beads, the larger size bead, and you see the little hole right there. And we're just going to wiggle it through that little hole. And then before we close it up, we're going to put on our earring hook as well. Just slip it on there. And then close our jump ring, and we are done. So there we go. And we finished our little pair of earrings. And I'm looking at the time here on this video. And even with all my talking, it took about 12 minutes to do this. So you will probably go faster on your second one. So you're looking at about 20 minutes to make this pair of earrings, maybe 25. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. We have a lot more over at beadaholique.com. And if you like this video, do remember to subscribe to our channel here because we have lots of jewelry making tutorials and projects and fun things. Thanks, everyone.